E.N.D here. Edge of Eternities is a set like you've never seen before. This far out chapter launches the magic multiverse into the realm of science fantasy, blending powerful magic with high-tech warfare and cosmic wonder. You will spacewalk through the Sautera system, an enigmatic and perilous realm at the farthest reaches of the multiverse. The sky is no longer the limit, we're heading for the stars. Set entirely in outer space, this story is a top-down love letter to space opera. Edge of Eternities marks the beginning of the third and final arc of the Metronome storyline and introduces the Edge, a mysterious boundary where the multiverse ends and the blind eternities begin. Harness the cutting-edge technology of Sautera, clash with alien factions and uncover secrets buried deep in the void. This is a galaxy on the brink and everyone is racing to control its unimaginable power. Chart your course through Sautera, explore strange and distant worlds, wield dazzling new magic and wage interstellar war. Just be sure to steer clear of the unstable super void. Something ancient and devastating lurks within. That's all we know so far regarding the set. But what do we expect for Edge of Eternities? Here are my 10 predictions for this space adventure interstellar set. Intro please. First prediction, Tesaret. We all know Tesaret will be part of the set. You can see him all over the teaser art, packaging and promotional material. It's pretty clear he's positioned as the main antagonist. But I don't think he's just here to stir up trouble. Tesaret always has a plan. He wouldn't have journeyed to the Edge, a mysterious region beyond the known multiverse, without a specific goal in mind. What exactly is Tesaret's target? Tesaret has a long history of chasing powerful artifacts, his most notorious acquisition, the Planar Bridge, and now I believe he's after something just as significant, if not more so. Therefore, for Edge of Eternities, I predict that Tesaret is seeking a unique, powerful artifact that can only be found in this uncharted region, something that's crucial to his larger scheme, possibly the final piece of a long brewing master plan. Second prediction, Nicol Bolas. While we're talking about Tesaret and his ever-twisting schemes, we have to bring up Nicol Bolas. After all, the two have been entangled in the past and Nicol Bolas is far from finished. As we saw in Tarkir Dragonstorm, Nicol Bolas escaped the meditation realm after Jace lost control of his spell. That's right, Nicol Bolas is free. Now, we don't know yet whether Nicol Bolas has regained his status as a planeswalker, but one thing is certain, he's still incredibly powerful and he's not the type to fade quietly into obscurity. If anything, he's likely working in the shadows, plotting his return to dominance. Therefore, for Edge of Eternities, I predict Tesaret's mission might not be for his own gain alone. I believe he's working to help Nicol Bolas regain his lost power or even acquire something greater. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a brand new mythic card for Magic's most iconic villain. Third prediction, Star Wars and Star Trek. Edge of Eternities is a set inspired by space opera, a subgenre of science fiction known for its epic space battles, daring adventures, complex diplomacy, and vast galactic empires. Typically set in deep space, space operas lean heavily into advanced technology, faster than light travel, futuristic weaponry, and conflicts that span star systems and civilizations. And when we talk about space opera, two legendary names instantly comes to mind, Star Wars and Star Trek. Therefore, for Edge of Eternities, I predict that the set will draw heavily inspiration from these two iconic franchises. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see characters clearly inspired by the likes of Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Leia, Han Solo, Captain Kirk, Spock, Scotty, and more, reimagined through Magic's unique lens, of course. Fourth prediction, alien factions. Given that Edge of Eternities leans heavily into space opera and sci-fi themes with a possibility nod to Star Wars and Star Trek, there's one thing we absolutely must expect. aliens. And not just background characters or one-off creatures, I'm talking full-blown alien factions locked into an interstellar war, likely fighting over some mysterious and immensely powerful energy source. But how many alien factions we will see? My guess is 5, and not just any 5. 5 3-color alien factions, specifically using shard color combination, a central color paired with its 2 allies. We have recently seen this kind of color combinations in Tarkir Dragonstorm, which brought back 3-color wedges, a color and its 2 enemies. This time I think Wizards will flip it and go full shard style to reflect structured empires, technological synergy and interfaction rivalries. Therefore, for Age of Eternities, I predict 5 distinct alien factions, each built around a shard: Bent, Esper, Grixis, Jund, and Naya, each with their own unique culture, technology, and mechanics. 5th prediction: Planets. A space opera isn't just about epic space battles, interstellar politics, and galaxy-spanning empires. It's also about exploration. Venturing into the unknown, discovering wild and dangerous new worlds, from primitive, untamed planets to highly advanced, perilous ones teeming with alien tech and secrets. In Age of Eternities, I have no doubt that planets will be one of the major focal points, but what role will they play mechanically? I believe the planets will form the land cycle of the set. Therefore, for Age of Eternities, I predict that planets will serve as the land cycle, and they won't just be your standard dual lands. These will be 3-color lands with a unique twist, much like the Triumphs. Expect planets that not only fix your mana but also tie into the set's mechanics and world building in a big way. 6th prediction: Sautera. Sautera the Super Void will be the headliner of the set, with a serialized special artwork limited to just 500 copies. It's destined to be one of the most sought after cards. If history is an indication, we're in for something big. Cards like Edgar Markov, the Ether Spark, and Mox Jesper weren't just headliners, they were game-defining, format-shaping powerhouses. And I have no doubt that Sautera the Super Void will be just as iconic, if not more impactful. So what will this mysterious card actually do? At this stage, we know only a few things. Its mana cost is 2 and 2 black, 4 mana in total, and its artwork features a striking depiction of what looks like a black hole, dark, immense, and consuming everything around it. Therefore, for Age of Eternities, I predict Sautera the Super Void will either be a world-altering enchantment, a powerful piece that affects the entire battlefield, perhaps even in the style of a world enchantment, or a legendary creature god, a planet deity of such overwhelming power that every player will want to build around it and cheat into play. 7th prediction: Spaceships. Popular space operas are often defined by their iconic spacecraft. From Star Wars' legendary Millennium Falcon to Star Trek's USS Enterprise and other unforgettable ships like the Infinity from Halo, Battlestar Galactica, and the Arcadia from Captain Harlock, these vessels are as much characters as the people who command them. In a Magic set where space and exploration take center stage, there is no doubt the spaceships will play a major role. Therefore, for Age of Eternities, I predict we will see a cycle of powerful spaceships cards. Massive vehicle cards with high crew cost, representing the scale and might of interstellar warships. These ships will be difficult to activate, but once crewed, they will be absolutely devastating, living up to their legendary names and designs. 8th prediction: the Death Star. While we are talking about spaceships and just how massive and powerful they can be, it's impossible not to mention the most iconic space station in all sci-fi: Star Wars Death Star. In a set like Edge of Eternities, where space adventures and interstellar warfare take center stage, a Death Star-inspired card feels almost inevitable. In Magic terms, such a card could easily showcase its destructive might by exiling target lands when enters the battlefield and generating soldier-like tokens much like stormtroopers to represent its vast Imperial forces. Therefore, for Edge of Eternities, I predict we'll see a colossal artifact vehicle modeled around the concept of the Death Star, something with an enormous crew cost, but once activated it will be absolutely devastating, obliterating lands and flooding the battlefield with token troops, capturing the sheer scale and dread of the original. Ninth prediction, Metalcraft. In a set where artifacts and massive artifact vehicles appear to play a central role, and with alien factions likely competing for powerful tech, it seems inevitable that at least one of those factions will specialize in artifacts. And with that, it's hard to imagine the set not including a mechanic that synergizes strongly with artifacts. At this point, I don't think we'll see a brand new mechanic. Instead, I predict the return of a beloved classic, Metalcraft. Originally introduced in Scars of Mirrodin, Metalcraft is an ability well that grants bonuses to spells or permanents as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. It was a perfect fit for artifact-heavy strategies back then, and now with the widespread use of treasure tokens, food, maps and more, the time is ripe enough for Metalcraft to shine again. Therefore, for Edge of Eternities, I predict the return of Metalcraft, a powerful thematic mechanic that rewards artifact density and will feel right at home in a space-faring, tech-fueled battlefield. 10th and last prediction, Mox Opal. When Wizards of the Coast unbanned Mox Opal in Modern back in December, it sends shockwaves through the Magic community. The card's value skyrocketed overnight, catching almost everyone off guard, especially given how powerful and format-defining Mox Opal has always been. The last major reprint of Mox Opal came nearly 5 years ago in the original Double Master set released in 2020. Since then, its price and demand have only climbed, especially following the unban. Given how valuable Mox Opal is and how iconic it is as an artifact, there's no doubt Wizards of the Coast will want to capitalize on its current hype. Therefore, for Edge of Eternities, I predict a reprint of Mox Opal, whether in the main set or featured as a special guest. Either way, it would be a perfect fit for a set so focused on artifact, high-tech themes and powerful synergies. So those are my 10 predictions for Edge of Eternities, a set that promises to dive deep into the hidden darker corners of the Magic multiverse. What are your expectations for this space opera inspired set? Leave a comment below and let me know what you think is coming in Edge of Eternities. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.